So we're live for the LFC Forum podcast. Joining me today, we have Hassan and Paul, and we are going to be discussing the Bournemouth 4-0 thrashing. So it was a good day, good result, and we're back in fourth spot uh, this weekend. So Paul, Hassan, thanks for joining me. Uh, how's your night going? And tell me, what did you think about today's game? Hassan?
Um, I thought that was the way we should approach our games from now on, and I think we looked really good today, bar the Defoe chance. Um, I thought Toxic Chamberlain was really good in midfield,
It really was.
and yeah, I mean, if you're winning 4-0 away, you're gonna take it, regardless of the opposition.
That's definitely true. Paul?
Yeah, I'm glad to get the monkey of the 4-3 comeback off our backs. I agree with Oxlade-Chamberlain. He really stood out for me today. I want to see him play against Arsenal, actually. I think he deserves to be keeping Mane out of the side. I thought he was that good today. Yeah, in general, I just can't complain. 4-0 victory away from home against a team that you didn't beat last season. That's a sign of improvement, at least. So, all in all, I'm pleased. Can't complain today.
Yeah, it was pleasing to watch this game. I thought we had the right mindset, as Hassan mentioned, right from the get-go. It was pressing with energy, lots of good movement off the ball as well. I do think Bournemouth did play into our hands again a little bit. They tried to play against us, which is never a good strategy, especially with the forwards that we have in the form that they're in. So we cut them open in that first half quite often and with some ease as well. So I'm really happy with that, how that went. It's a little frustrating when you think about it, uh, considering the last two results. You had the Everton result last week, and then you had West Brom in the middle, and then you come out and we thrash them 4-0. It's a little bit frustrating to see the inconsistency in this team because we could be quite a bit better. And also open up a bit of a gap for that in that race for the fourth or the third spot in this league. So that is frustrating from time to time. I guess if you want to nitpick on something, not really nitpicking on today's performance, but just overall. So as far as the way the game went, I thought we started off with I think a 4-2-2-2. Is that how you guys saw it?
No, from the get-go, I thought it was a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. Ox was practically playing as an attacking midfielder, although he would slide back into a midfield three at times. But no, I don't think it was a 4-2-2-2. Ox was far too central for that, and Coutinho was playing on the left, which was interesting for me because I didn't expect that with the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I was surprised to see Coutinho out left as well because he was really. I thought he was really ineffectual against West Brom when he played in the same position, and he didn't have the opportunity to put a stamp on the game.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we go away to Bournemouth. He's out left, and in my opinion, even better than Oxlade-Chamberlain. In my opinion, best player on the pitch tonight.
I thought the first half he was the best player on the pitch. He virtually everything really ran through him. So that first goal was absolutely brilliant. Andy Robertson, you have to say, had a good game. Good link up with Phil today. So it was nice to see the chemistry for that first goal. That was just pure Coutinho class. The little sidestep at the end, one more time just to open it up for him was beautiful, and it was a great goal. He also assisted for the Firmino goal as well today. So 1 goal, 1 assist. All in all,
it was that pass over the top as well for Salah. When Salah hit it with his laces straight at Begovic.
Yeah,
that was a touch of real genius. That's why I thought
yes, the little chip. Yeah, the little chip.
Yep, that's the one.
Terrific. Yeah, he was head and shoulders. Again, Ox is going to get the plaudits for the work rate, everything that he did today, and he was really good. But I thought Phil was genius level today on the pitch. Hassan, talk to me about your favorite new LFC Arab, Mo Salah.
Well, I tweeted this during the game. I was like, because there were two attempts where he would just cut in from the right and shoot the disaster. I was like, I'm a big fan of Salah trying to be Arjen Robben. Then he scored the goal. It's like, oh, he is Arjen Robben basically. Um, yeah, he has 20 goals in 26 games. That matches the record that was held by Daniel Sturridge, which is just remarkable. I mean, we would have taken 20 goals in all competitions for the end of the season by him. So to do that halfway through the season is just amazing. And he surpassed any sort of expectation I had of him. And I have to admit, I wasn't the biggest supporter of this transfer from the get-go. Although I did say that Salah was a good player, I didn't think it was the player we needed. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you definitely got that one wrong. Is Paul is he better than Elzar at this point?
Certainly better than Amir Zaki, as someone on the forum suggested was the bar to clear last time. I have to echo what Hassan was just saying. I liked the transfer. I was somewhat excited about the transfer. I didn't think he was going to be this good. I thought, okay, we're being linked to the decent player here. Let's see what he can do in the shirt. He surpassed every possible expectation I've had of him. Turns out I'm an idiot as well. I just love watching him play football. I said this in the last podcast we recorded. Every time I watch him, he adds something else to his game that I didn't know he had the previous game. Today, the way he cut in on his left, Bournemouth couldn't deal with that, and I'd never really seen that as an aspect in his game before, and he did it time and again successfully. And one of them came off absolutely beautifully.
Hassan,
I don't think he's necessarily in the Arjen Robben mold. I don't think he's going to be the kind of player that does that all the time. But he's got that variety to his game now. He just continues to surprise me.
So you brought up Robin because Hassan and I were chatting on Twitter. I think during the first half, and Hassan brought up this comparison. Robin like today, very much so with the constant cutting in, and a few chances. There was one where he blazed it a little bit over the bar, but then he managed to correct that when he got the goal. It was a super take. He again, like you said, he week in week out, you're seeing a different element and a different facet of his game. So it's almost like he's a terrific player, but he's also a player that's growing with each week, and is improving at something each week. You're seeing something new about him. And again, his off the ball movement was terrific for that Coutinho chance that we talked about, where he just chipped it over. Again, just a terrific player all around. As far as Sadio Mane goes, now he's not in the side. Liverpool win quite comfortably. Do you want to see him? Do you want to see him stay on the bench for our next game against Arsenal away?
I would start all five and play Oxlade, Chan or Henderson, whoever, and Coutinho midfield, and have the same front three, and just tell Arsenal handle us on the counter attack, because I don't think there's any point in trying to defend against them, and I do think their formation can be exploited, although they have reverted to a back four apparently the last couple of games. But I mean, what do you prefer, Oxlade-Chamberlain midfield or Wijnaldum? Who do you prefer, Coutinho or whoever else we have in midfield? Right. And we might as well have the front three as it is, and just overload on attack. And this is something I mentioned before. I would have said, put in Sturridge as a striker, drop Firmino back, and have Coutinho controlling the midfield from the back. I mean, right now, since Sturridge is out, and I think Chamberlain is getting into a good form, I might as well get them all in and see where it goes.
I like that idea a lot. If you can get Coutinho, Mane, Salah, Firmino, and Oxlade-Chamberlain to the same side, do it. Absolutely. Arsenal are a team that I think struggle a little bit at dealing with counter-attacks. Counter-attacks are what we're so good at. We saw that at Anfield back in August. We just know how to play that way, and Arsenal do tend to struggle when they come up against a team that can hit them on the break at pace. I do think they'll keep with the back four that they've been using the last couple of games. I think they'll probably learn some lessons from the last time out. But we've got the tools to hurt Arsenal. And I agree, don't try and control the game. Don't try and pack the midfield. Try and open the game up as often as you can and keep trying to pick them off. And if it means putting that front five on, as Hassan said, I think do it.
Also, our away form is actually pretty good the last few weeks. I don't know, have we outscored teams, I think 12-2 coming into today away from home. So we should just, again, Arsenal have all the pressure on them. They have to actually go out there, try and get a win at home. So why not just play all your fastest players as possible and just hit them wave after wave on the counterattack, as well as the pressing. Oxlade-Chamberlain's pressing today was excellent, Lallana-like almost, I would say. So why not just absolutely go ahead? And you never know, you could blitz them 3-0 in the first half, and then we could, end up shipping 3 goals in the second, and it'll be a draw. You never know. So I completely agree with you, actually, because Wijnaldum today I thought was poor, to be perfectly blunt about it. He really didn't really fill me with any confidence going forward. But Henderson I thought was actually pretty good today. I actually thought his performance was really good. His passing, some of it was also pretty good. Talk to me a little bit about Dejan Lovren getting the goal. Were you happy for him, Paul?
Sure was. I'm happy for every Liverpool player that scores a goal, and I'll cheer on anyone who wants to put the ball in the net for us. I was glad as well that Firmino's hard work, keeping that ball in, it's about to go out either for a goal kick or another corner, I'm not quite sure. But his hard work was rewarded by what was a really, really good diving header. So, to see Lovren get on the score sheet, yeah, I was pleased. The one thing I want to say about Lovren is that the only decent chance that Bournemouth had today was that Defoe one-on-one where he hit the post.
Yeah,
I think was a situation where Lovren could and probably should have dealt with it a little better, because as that pass is played through towards Defoe, Lovren's on his heels a little bit. He's not sure whether he's playing the offside trap or whether he's trying to stay goal side of his defender. And in the end, he's sort of doing neither. He's just there, and Defoe quite easily bypasses him and has a shot on goal that I think normally a player like Defoe will put in the back of the net, and then it's a different game. So it was a defensive lapse, I think. But on the whole, the defensive performance was fine, apart from that one moment. And yeah, to see him get on the score sheet at the other end, that's always nice.
Awesome.
I mean, obviously, I was a bit pleased for him just because of all the things he's had to deal with this season. But yeah, I mean, the important part was that there was the second goal in the game. And I mean, with Liverpool, unless we're 4-0 up, there's always a chance for the opposition to equalize, basically, in my mind. Even at 4-0, I would have 5. But yeah, I mean, and he reacted well, to be fair to him. I mean, he was really quick to react to that ball by Firmino, and really well played by Firmino to get that ball back in and that cross at the end from Firmino.
Yeah, definitely put it back in the mixer, and I would say a brave header as well. Sometimes, it's not everyone wants to dive in there, especially if especially in the box, so that the chances of getting kicked are pretty high. So good for him. Glad for him. I don't think any player should, even off criticized players. They deserve the feel good moments that they get when they get a goal like this. So that's good for Lovren. Also on a feel good moment today was the return of Adam Lallana. He is sporting the Joe Allen look now, which I'm not terribly fond of, but I'm really glad to see him back, especially with the Christmas fixtures coming up. Again, it'll be a little while before he gets a start, but how excited are you guys to see him back?
I'll be even more pleased to see him back if he sorts that head of hair out. But I tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing him hopefully replace Wijnaldum in the team. Lallana's pressing, and you picked this up before. Lallana's pressing is brilliant. He's probably the best presser we've got. But he's more creative. He's more intelligent than Wijnaldum, for example, Chan and Henderson as well. I think he offers more going forward.
Yeah.
And so him coming back is going to offer us a brand new dimension. He's the kind of player that's going to be better than what we've got at the moment at linking the midfield to the attack. And so when he eventually does return, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks he'll begin to start a couple of games, then that can only be good news for us. And I think that will help us to really kick on.
Definitely. Hassan?
Well, he offers us something different in midfield. And I think in this period of the season, he would be a very welcome addition, as you said. I mean, we have a lot of games still coming up, but I think he won't start the next game against Arsenal. He might start on Boxing Day. So, I mean, fresh legs, something we didn't have last season. We have a bit more now in midfield, especially. And yeah, I'm just pleased that he's back. Also, was good to see Danny Ings again involved a bit, at least to get him fit. And I mean, he's in the shop window basically at this moment. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, you're just happy that anyone who's injured is getting back into his side. That's always a good thing to have.
Yeah, you want to. I think as far as who he replaces, I think he'll probably take. If everything is going well, I think he probably takes Oxlade-Chamberlain's position, the way Ox played today, basically, and then Coutinho probably drops into midfield alongside Henderson. So we have a lot of options, a lot of ability to rotate as well, and this is only a good thing for Jurgen because he rotated today with Mane, so Mane got the whole game off, and now he's ready pretty much for Arsenal next. Coming up on Friday. So that's only a good thing. I'm really happy about that. So since we were talking about new players coming back and being like new signings, what about new signings in January? Again, I'm in the camp where I think we do need to make a signing or two, preferably a center back and maybe a center midfield player. We'll see about that. I think maybe it'll just be a center back, but Paul, tell me, take me through your thoughts on this.
I'd be surprised if we didn't end up signing Van Dijk. His mind's not really at St Mary's anymore, and I think the deal will be done. Liverpool obviously still want him. The player still obviously wants to join Liverpool. I think that will happen, but I have to say I think that's all that will happen. I don't think we'll get another central defender, even though I think we need one. Van Dijk isn't going to come in and solve all of our problems in defence. And I would certainly like to see another midfielder come in as well. But I can't see that happening. I think we'll bring in Van Dijk, and I think we'll satisfy ourselves with bringing in just one player, and we'll finish our season that way.
Hassan, do you want to sign anyone from Gattuso's Milan?
No. I mean, if Fabio Borini is starting, oh God, no. So it's just. Did you watch the game, by the way, or it was just hilarious? It's genuine. Like Milan are amazing. As for the January transfer market, yeah, I think a centre back will probably be the only player we sign. I think it's gonna be Van Dijk as well. Not sure we're linked to anyone. I don't think. The reality is, I'm not sure we want more than one centre back, which is that's what the club wants, I guess. In terms of midfield, I don't see us adding another player, and I think the reasoning is, and I mean it is understandable. We have a lot of centre midfielders. They're not that good, but we have a lot of them. So I'm not sure what we would have to do with all of them if we signed another one.
Yeah, we'd have to probably let someone go. Probably Emre. See if we can sell him off to Juve in January and bring someone in. If that would be the only way I think we'd ever bring in a center midfield this January. Is if we try to get a transfer fee from Juve for it and sell him there immediately. Yeah, I think it'll just be a center back. I'm not even that confident that it will actually come to pass. I don't think that Van Dijk is going to be here in January. I think we'll pursue him, but I don't think we'll get it over the line. I think it'll probably be one for the summer. Um, it's just one of those things that I just feel I don't think that we'll be able to pull it off in January. But if we do, I'd be really happy with it. As far as a second center back, maybe I don't know Kubali, but I don't think Napoli would want to let him go right now. So that's probably going to be something that it'll probably have to wait for the summer as well.
There's some whispers about Stefan de Vrij's contract situation at Lazio, and I think that's a player we should certainly be interested in. To me, that'd be a sign that someone at the club really knows what they're doing.
I haven't seen any real tangible links to him. I mean, again, it could, what I think would happen. This is what I think is probably likely to happen. I think Emre will sign a pre-contract with Juventus, and then I think possibly Goretzka would sign a pre-contract with Liverpool. That's what I think for the January transfer window. Do you think that that's likely?
I can see it. I can certainly see it. And to be honest, getting rid of Emre, if Emre Can wants to leave, and then to bring in Goretzka on a pre-contract, that's a net gain for us. Goretzka is, in my opinion, twice the player Emre Can is. And if it means we've got to wait until the summer to have two amazing midfielders join the club, then I can cope with that. Just to see that positive direction for me at that point would be enough.
Awesome.
I think for the Goretzka thing, I'm not sure how he fits with Keita. And he'd probably be Coutinho's replacement, actually. Because a midfield of Keita and Goretzka, I don't think would work that well. I think neither one of them can set the tempo. They both like to get forward, especially Goretzka. I mean, he is not a passer. Keita's more of a passer, and Keita can run a bit more with the ball. Goretzka is great at late runs from deep and getting into great positions. But in terms of him as a passer, I don't think he's that good. It's not his game. Although I really do like Goretzka. And I think the thing, as for the Stefan de Vrij thing, we scouted him 4 years ago when he would have cost something like £6 million. And I think personally, Brendan watched the game. He was at Feyenoord at the time and decided against it because apparently he looked too leggy or something like that. So
leggy. What is leggy?
Actually, it was at that time. Then we were linked to Ashley Williams, and he was pushing for the Ashley Williams deal all summer.
For God's sake!
Yeah.
So it's a kind reminder for anyone who compares Klopp to Brendan. At least he didn't want Ashley Williams Klopp.
Well, you can think of it this way: he didn't sign Barini either. So
he did.
True.
So I mean, Barini was our first signing, wasn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Under Brendan, a player that would excite us.
At least Barini was part of the Euro squad in 2012 for Italy. He had 7 goals with Roma. I mean, at least at the time, we were like, maybe there's something there. He worked with him. Ashley Williams?
It's not that bad.
He's pretty terrible. Again, that summer, we decided we wanted Ashley Williams and we signed Kolo Touré, and in all likelihood, we would have had Kolo Touré and Ashley Williams start games for Liverpool FC.
Well, at least it's better than Lucas starting at center back.
I'm not sure about that, actually. So, and I do miss Lucas. I genuinely do miss Lucas in defensive midfield at times. At least in the last 20 minutes of games.
To give that foul away?
To give that foul away and just, I mean, if there's one thing Lucas knows how to do, he does know how to settle down everyone a bit.
He does pass between the lines.
Despite the fouls, he does a decent amount of work. For 20 minutes, he was really good. He was our John Obi Mikel.
God.
The human final whistle, as he is known.
The human final whistle. Okay. So I think he's doing well for Lazio, right, Lucas?
Yeah, he's got
And
a
Luis
beautiful back
Alberto has
heel
been.
a couple of weeks ago.
That was last week. That was on Thursday, wasn't it?
Oh, was it? In fact, yeah, I think it was more recent than that.
Yeah, not this Thursday, the one before. That I was like, Lucas Leiva back heel goal. I was like, what?
Yeah, I thought someone was joking. I thought someone was messing with me.
Well,
I mean, if you want to mess with someone, just tell them Luis Alberto has been one of the stars of the Serie A this season.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
he's been playing really well, actually. He's really been playing well. Another one Brendan let go, Another one Brendan let go.
And Suso. So.
Yeah, and Suso, yeah. I mean, he's playing for Gattuso's Milan, and you said you wouldn't sign anybody from there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very proud of the post I had on the forums about Gattuso. So, I'm just bring on Arsenal, and hopefully we see a similar performance to the one we had this week. And I think they're there for the taking, and they haven't been impressive as of late. Ozil has been excellent though. But yeah, Friday should be a good game, and if we get that win, we're in a really good position right before January.
Yeah, I just hope we don't falter after that.
Yeah, for me, it's a couple of things to finish off. One, I think we can go to Arsenal, and I don't want to tempt fate, but I think we can go and we can win that game. I think we've got what it takes to win away from home against a big team like that. I think one thing that we haven't mentioned, and I wanted to ask you guys about at some point, was what you thought of the Champions League draw, because we haven't discussed that yet.
Oh, right. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was not the worst draw in the world. Tough game, but not the worst draw in the world, certainly.
Yeah, because I was watching it. I was watching it last week, and I said on one of the previous podcasts, "Oh yeah, just bring on anyone. Bring on Juventus. Bring on Real Madrid. Bring on Bayern." And I remember doing a little fist bump as soon as Liverpool got drawn against Porto, thinking, "Thank God it wasn't Real Madrid. Thank God it wasn't Juve. Thank God it wasn't Bayern." Like, I think as soon as it looked like we might get a team like that, I started to think, do I really want to see us have to take them on at this point?
And Porto they're a good team. They have a few good players, and they are going to be a tough team for us because they match up well with how we want to go about. I mean, they are willing to concede possession and play on the counter. So, yeah.
Again, for me, from my point of view, it's the fans get to go to Porto, which is something I'm happy for. Fans get to go to a great city to watch a football match, which is always great. And I think it's a good enough. I think it's a draw whereby I think we can actually win it and I think we can win it pretty convincingly as well. So I'm all in all, I'm quite pleased. I think we should be favorites to win this tie and move on to the quarterfinals. That's what my feeling is here on this. So I'm really happy about the draw. Obviously, it could have been maybe a little bit better, but overall, I'm really still quite happy with it. Not at all disappointed.
I'm cautiously optimistic at the moment. I think Porto have got some wonderful players, especially in the forward line. Players like Jesus Corona and Oliver Torres really impress me. And they're the kind of players that can give us an awful lot to think about defensively. And if they're playing against us on the counter, that's the kind of thing where Liverpool really going to have to up their game defensively to get through this tie. But on balance, I think we should just edge it.
Yeah, we should probably edge it. I wonder if we'll be scouting Brahimi in this game. Probably not, though. I would imagine.
I hope we are scouting Danilo Pereira, in all
Yeah,
honesty.
Daniel.
So, and their two fullbacks are really good. Ricardo Pereira and sorry, not Layun, Tellez have been really good this season. And they have two, I mean, their two strikers are big and they're good technically. So that's, the perfect combo for our center backs to deal with.
Yeah, but Layun is pretty. He's pretty old. I doubt he's in the age range that we're looking at.
No. I'm saying Alex Tellez.
Oh, Alex Telles. Oh, okay. I thought
I
you
made a
were wrong.
mistake.
Yeah, Alex Telles. I think Larissa Karius has been on him for years now, mentioning him. Ever since he was at Galatasaray. So, yeah. Let's. So all in all, I thought it was a good draw. Any final thoughts for you guys?
As Hassan said, bring on Arsenal. It's been a frustrating week or so for us, seeing how inconsistent Liverpool can be, and seeing how we can just blow hot and cold as much as we do. I really want to see us on a good night on Friday. If we take the form that we showed today into Friday evening, I think we should beat Arsenal.
Definitely. Awesome. Last thoughts?
There was a point I wanted to make about, because you were mentioning our away form has been better recently, and this has been something that's been happening since last season. Last season we hadn't won between Everton, when we won in the last minute through Mane back in December, until I think it was Stoke 2-1. We hadn't won an away game in the Premier League. Then we had like 3 games at home that we didn't win in, yet we won like 3 away games in a row. This season, we have had the last 3 games at home have been draws in the league, and the away form has been really good. And if you look at it to the table, we have the joint best home defense in the league, actually, the 5th worst away.
Okay.
So that's the inconsistency in this side that I can't make sense of. Although, to be fair, 9 goals came in 2 games.
That's true. That's true. That's right. Brighton, and then today. So yeah, it's hard to really. Again, when we score goals, we score them in bunches. That's really.
No, I meant concede 9. So that
Oh,
was
concede. Oh,
City.
okay.
So those two basically caused the entire thing to look really bad.
Okay. Yeah. Again, it's one of those things that consistency is where Klopp still needs to get this team. Get this team right, basically. All right. So it was good to have you guys on, and we'll pick this up probably next weekend after the Arsenal result. And we'll go from there.
Good.
All right. See you guys.
Yeah. See ya.